Hi all. Today we are going to discuss the lesson Deep Water written by William Douglas. In this lesson, William Douglas wants to tell us how we can overcome our fears. We all do have fear, what we call uncontrollable fear or phobia. Some of you are afraid of heights, acrophobia. Some of us are afraid of closed spaces, claustrophobia, afraid of snakes, afraid of water, hydrophobia. So, through this lesson, with the story of his own life, he wants us to understand that we can overcome all these fears. Step by step, he's telling, using the technique of a story of his own life, and tell us how we can overcome all our fears and free ourselves. So he starts the lesson by telling us that when he was 10 or 11 years old, that's when he decided to learn swimming. Okay, 10 or 11, but he told us that already he was afraid of water. He did not like water actually, because when he was 3 or 4 years old, his father, that's the first reason why this fear was created. All our phobias may have some reason behind it. In our childhood, sometimes we got scared because of a snake. I think lifelong that fear lingers or haunts us for a long period of time. So when he was 3 or 4 years old, once his father took him to the beach in California. And he was standing in the waves along with his father. And each time each wave came, it swept over him. And he was really scared, terrified, but his father was laughing. So that was the first incident that triggered this fear of water. But when 10 or 11 years old, he almost forgot all about it. He was at that time in Yakima, where it is known for his Yakima River. The river was treacherous, dangerous. His mother used to remind him of each drowning case that happened there. So he decided to select the YMCA pool that's nearby. It is convenient, first of all, because one part, the depth of the pool was just 2 to 3 feet. And the deepest part, it is 9 feet. And the slope was gradual. It was a safe place. Though he was very skinny and he was embarrassed to go naked showing his skinny legs, he subdued, controlled his embarrassment or shame and decided to learn swimming. Went with a water balloon, each water balloon on his hand to keep him afloat. He went to the shallow part of the pool and started practicing, looking at other boys and girls who were swimming, aping or imitating them. The first day, he just paddled here and there in the water. And slowly the small fear that he had, it was there, but within 1 or 2 or 3 days, he was coming to ease. He was becoming comfortable with water, and he knew that he could learn swimming. And that is when this great misadventure happened. The next day, maybe a few days later, when he started to go for learning swimming, that particular day when he reached the pool, there was not a single soul around. The pool was so quiet, it was silent. And the water was so still, you can even see the clear white tiles at the bottom like a bathtub. So there was nobody. It's a kind of weird sensation. So he was a little timid or afraid to enter water when there is nobody around. So he sat beside the pool. And before long, when he sat beside the pool, a huge boy, a bruiser of a boy, he is already not a boy but more of a man with rolling muscles and rippling muscles all over. A huge, he's a kind of a huge muscular man came, or a boy came, 18 years or something. He came, hey, skinny, would you like to be decked? Without waiting for any response, caught the boy, the small one, William Douglas, and threw him into the deeper part of the pool. He was caught as he was in a sitting position. He landed in the pool, in the sitting position, and went down of the pool. But the author says he is not that terrified. He was scared, of course, but he was not scared out of his wits, actually. So while going down, so he suddenly created that strategy. That plan A was that he would reach the bottom and with all his power would jump upwards, come to the surface like a cork and pop to the surface, then lay on top of the water and slowly swim to the side of the pool and be safe. That was his plan. So our boy, as he was going down, this 9 feet appeared almost 90 feet. It took a long period of time. Time is relative. As Shakespeare says, time gallops with all, time trots with all, time crawls with all, time stills with all, depending on the situation. So this 9 feet took an eternity to reach down. And his lungs started aching. He was suffocating. The water appeared a yellow tinge because his eyes were clouded. Anyway, when he reached at last, his feet touched the tiles and his feet went to grab the tiles, and he mustered all the courage, all the power, strength he could get, and jumped up. But still, the moment he did not break the surface in a fast like a cork he imagined. The journey to the top also was moving very slowly. And he was panicking, started flailing, and at last, when he could see the light, and his eyes and part of the nose broke the surface, but not his mouth. And before he could take at least another mouthful of air, the journey down again started. Journey again. This is the first time when terror really gripped him. He was panicking. This is a kind of terror that people do not understand unless they have experienced it. A terror which needs no reason, is unreasonable fear. A terror that cannot be explained. And this is the kind of terror. It almost paralyzed. You wanted to yell, but the sound is not going to come. You wanted to yell, you wanted to shout, but nothing is going to come. You cannot move your legs. It feels like it is a heavy cannonball is tied to your leg, and it froze, and it has become rigid. So he started choking, and the air seems to come. Everywhere there is a yellow tinge of water he could see around. Tried to catch hold of anything, but nothing came to rescue him. And about to give up, suddenly a sense of his mind actually started telling him that there was a strategy. The strategy was, the first time it failed, reach the bottom, jump with all power and reach the surface. So he, draining all energy, he started beating against the water, but somehow his feet touched the ground again. Again, he gave a very good jump. Supposed to jump as powerful as he thought, he gave a good jump. But again, his journey to the top was very slowly. He did not reach and break the surface like a cork popping out. No. Slowly he again started beating, and yellow water all around, with panic and fear that you have never experienced before. At last, when he reached the top, the light came, but only his eyes and part of nose again broke the surface. And again, the journey to the bottom at that time started. And then, what happened is that, that time going, all the energy failed, all tired, and there was no air. Slowly, he became almost calm. The terror started going away. It was about the peacefulness, gently being caressed by somebody, gentle hands carrying. He did not have fear. Everything it's good to go to sleep. No need of struggling anymore. Slowly he was going to the verge of unconsciousness. He was about to faint because of lack of oxygen. He started dazing off and about to faint. Slowly, he wanted to sleep. He felt his mother is carrying him, the fondling hand of his mother, the fond hand of his mother's father. And then he slowly, he was about to sleep. So he was going into oblivion. Then the curtain of life fell. When he opened his eyes a little while later, he found himself lying on his stomach, vomiting, and beside the pool. The huge boy who threw him into the pool was heard saying, "I was just joking." But somebody else said, "You almost killed him." Even going back home later, he could not get over this trauma. He could not sleep properly. He could not eat any food. Any slight exertion, any slight activity made him sick. Many years later, he was still afraid of water. Wherever there was opportunity to go near the pool, he would avoid it like anything. That's the part the narrator is telling us how he developed this phobia of water, hydrophobia. And that kind of panic whenever he went to any water bodies, it spoiled his life. His friends used to go for fishing, canoeing, and all these places. The place he was staying near the Cascade Mountains, filled with a lot of water bodies, Yellowstone National Park and Warm Lake, all these water bodies around. He spoiled all these weekend trips with his friends. It was spoiled because he could not go to near any water bodies. How can you fish without going to the water? Anyway, many years later, he decided to learn to swim again. He wanted to get over this fear of water. So what he did was that he hired an instructor. The instructor made a special kind of apparatus to help him to swim, a kind of pulley and system where he is tied to a belt and he would float on water. The pulley is held by the instructor, and he would just move around on top of to and fro like this. After a few weeks only, he was allowed to put his face in water. The panic came back again, but slowly he knew he had to fight. This time, he would not give in to the fear. And slowly, first dipping his face in water, then catching the side of the pool and only beating with the legs. Initially, his leg was not moving. Slowly, he started. At last, bit by bit and pace by pace, the instructor made the writer a swimmer. And started in October, maybe almost 6 months later, the instructor said, now you can swim. But still, the writer had some residual lingering doubts whether he wanted to make sure the fear would never come back. So he went to the water body, nearest water body, and he wanted to swim. First he went to the pool when nobody was around. He jumped into the pool. The fear slightly made a small comeback. But the writer said, no, what you can do to me? You cannot harm me now. The fear went away. And then after that, he went to different water bodies there. He swam 2 miles here and there, to and from different places. Each time, the fear made a small guest appearance, but could not enter his heart. He said, fear, you cannot hurt me now. What are you going to do? You're not going to harm me anymore. And later, he went to the Warm Lake. And the Duckopron, the famous swimmer, did. He went to and fro in that warm lake. When he came to the middle of the water, only deep water under him, nothing else, dark water. Again, the fear slightly returned. But he knew this time the fear cannot touch him. And later, the fear entirely go away. He said that he just is, Roosevelt told, the only thing you need to fear, the fear itself. For the first time, the narrator said he felt relaxed. Because when you conquer a fear, you are a victor. And you are a conqueror. You feel happy and you feel relaxed. So the narrator wanted us to know that all these kind of phobias, each one, we all do have our own Achilles heels of phobias. And step by step, we can overcome it. We can manage to live with them. We can suppressing them, we being the conqueror. Thank you.